Hey guys, it's Gail with Everything Nash here with Duncan from the Newsboys. Duncan, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. It's great to be here.
Great to see you. We've never done this before, so I'm super excited that we get to chat a little bit.
This is first time for us, so yeah.
Let's not make it the last time. We'll do it again sometime.
No, there we go. There we go.
Okay, lots to talk about. I want to start with Lifefest because I got to speak to Matthew West a couple weeks ago about it. Coming up, first country Christian music festival in Nashville in a long time. Talk about being a part of that.
Well, it's pretty historic, which is awesome. I mean, who doesn't love playing their hometown? I mean, our local crew never get to see us. Like, I've got all my friends, all my mates coming, and they never get to see us because we're always playing somewhere else. And typically when we come home, we're either in a studio or we just want to chill, right? We just want to be with our families and do nothing. So to be in Nashville, play your hometown, first time playing a festival in just outside of Franklin, where we all live, Brentwood and Franklin. So it's going to be awesome. To be able to drive to a show, that never happens, right? You either go through an airport somewhere or you're on a tour bus, but it's going to be great. We can't wait.
And it's such a great lineup. You guys, Matthew, we talked about Michael W. Smith, Mandisa. I mean, that lineup is just amazing.
Well, it's going to be great, and the great thing is that they're all buds of ours. So, actually, Matthew used to live in my hood, and I used to see him all the time. Now he moved out. He went upscale, so he doesn't talk to me anymore. No, that's so not.
I'm telling him you said that.
Yeah, tell him. Hey, he'd laugh. We get on great. Me, Michael, Matthew rather. And then Michael W. Smith, he's been a dear friend for many years. Good dude, man. Actually, they're all great guys. And then Mandisa, of course, she's crazy, but we love her. Her music's amazing. We've toured with Mandisa. Actually, we've got some makeup dates from last year that we've still got to do, that we still love. Looking forward to do with Mandisa. So it's going to be awesome. Okay,
and Newsboys, I might be dating myself, but I was in high school when Newsboys first came out, and you've been with them for 27 years. Am I right?
Really?
I think 27 years. That's what I have written down.
Dang! I'm not even 27 years old. Come on now.
We were babies. We were babies together.
Yeah, I know we were, man. I mean, I remember when we first got going, and we were teenagers, man. We were just kids. I mean, looking back at them now, we didn't think we were at the time. We thought we were all grown, but we were just kids and just let loose on the touring circuit in the US. It was crazy times, great times, the crazy times.
Does it feel like almost 3 decades that you've been with them?
Not at all. No, not at all. I mean, I feel, and I've just said this recently to someone I did an interview with just yesterday. I feel like we're just getting started. And I know that's, you might think, what are you talking about? You guys have, done 15, 16, 17 records. But in so many ways, I think if you don't have that drive and that passion, I think every record you do, you're replaying for your job. I mean, you really, I don't care who you are, but you are. You're reapplying for that status of, are we still worthy in so many respects to put out music that our fans want to hear. And fans are fickle, man. They'll turn on you real quick. I mean, there is loyal, but I will say this: our fans are incredibly loyal, and have been loyal to Newsboys, because I think too the music goes a little deeper. So the connection made with what we do goes a little deeper than just maybe it's a pretty pop song. So it tends to make the fans maybe a little bit more loyal to bands like us and the previous bands we just mentioned.
Yes, but also there's not a whole lot. Michael W. Smith would be one. There's not a whole lot of artists who have transcended decades and musical styles, because music 30 years ago is much different than now. That's something really unique to Newsboys and maybe only a few other artists.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, every record's got to be great, as great as it can be. So not only are the fans' musical tastes changing, but so are yours. So it's still us. Like we're just finishing up a brand new record now, and even though it sounds so new and exciting, there's still an element to it that still sounds like who we are. So it's a weird thing. we're growing and evolving and maturing, hopefully, and our musical changes are. So your record should too, right? I mean, if you keep on making the same record over and over again, you're actually going backwards, if that makes sense, because everyone else, your fans and live people, they're moving forward. But if you keep on making the same record, you're going backwards in that sense. But reapplying for your job, trying to make it the best you can. And the cool thing with the last year and a half is we've had the time to actually be in a studio, write the song. No, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Let's do that again. Massaging it. There's something about, we've never really had the opportunity, because you're touring, you come home, you do your part, you play your part, and then you leave again. But now we weren't allowed to do that, so we've kind of had the time to really get in the studio, write some great smashes, which this blows my mind that there's still hit songs to be written, which there is. And that's what you got to, I mean, I grew up in the 80s, so give me a 3.5-minute pop song and I'm happy, That's our first love. That was my first love, and I know it's the band's first love of music was pop music. So I consider ourselves a pop band that's kind of managed to survive all these different incarnations.
Same with the pop music, 80s, child of the 80s. Absolutely same.
Oh, love it. Love it. Still great music.
I still jam to Def Leppard every now and then, and I'm not
well, it's funny, when we were growing up, there was the kind of the hair band crowd, but then there was the kind of the new wave crowd. So I was kind of more of a part of the new wave crowd. So we looked down our nose at the hairband crowd, because it was funny growing up in Australia where I did. All the surfers and all the cool kids, they were into the new wave, and then all the guys who were in the cars and just, we called them tappets, we called them motorheads or whatever. They were into the more of the hairband kind of music. So now it's totally changed. That doesn't exist anymore. But when I was growing up in Australia, the music you listened to really defined who you were.
Yeah. So I want to get to new music, but I have an interesting question. And I don't know that I've ever asked anybody this. Are you aware, or have you ever thought through, you have this great pop, rock, contemporary Christian, but you guys are also big in praise and worship. Was that an intentional trying to marry those, or did that just kind of happen?
Both. We all kind of grew up in the church, so there was that kind of that was there. But even though we love pop music, and that's who we really are, I think, as a band, we're always very aware of the element of, if we don't do this, there's a certain lot of people that's what they want. So there's a part of it. It's a bit of everything. You start thinking, do you want to get played on radio or not? You can't, in our world anyway. And you know what, I'll say in the pop world and country for that matter, there's a certain format that that works. So you play the game a little bit, you know what I mean? There is that in any industry. There's a bit of a game to be played, but we still tried to make it very much who we were at the time, and still to this day who we are. So it's this kind of really interesting ebb and flow between who you are, and you want to push that creatively as much as you can, but then too that even though we grew up in the church, there's this other element to who we are musically that we want to kind of massage as well. So it's almost like there are times that sometimes our records can feel a bit schizophrenic, because we have this kind of guitar-driven rock pop tune, and then we have this really worshipful song too, which is still us. It's still who we are inside. So it's a kind of I often looked at that because, gosh, this is so weird. We're so schizophrenic sometimes in some of the music we put out. But then at the end of the day, it's still who we are. So there's that.
I love it. I want to talk about your new single, Magnetic. Did I have that right? I can't even read my own writing.
Yeah,
terrible.
That's okay. That's okay. Me either. Mine looks like Egyptian hieroglyphics when I write these days, because you don't write anymore, right? Like when we were younger, back in the 80s and 90s, we wrote everything. Everything was written down, but I just don't. I text everything. Everything's done online. So awful. I know writing stuff is just
okay. Magnetic, new single. Talk about it.
Yeah, well, Magnetic is a new single that really the first song that we really kind of finished. And there again, musically, it's just really, really pop. I'm really super proud of the way it turned out. And it just talks about, sometimes we go our different ways, we stray from the way that we know we should, but his love is greater than that, and ends up always pulling us back. So it has this magnetic effect on who we are as Christians and as people in general. So that was the idea behind that song, but super excited about that song, where it sits on radio. Radio's loving it. It's getting ads every week. So that's really exciting too. When you've created this thing, when you have this baby, right, and you present it to the world, and people are like, yeah, that's a beautiful baby. We love that baby. We're going to show pictures of that baby. So a song's the same thing. You've spent all this time, you created this thing, and you present it to the world, and hoping people like it. And when they do, and they add, and you see them singing, especially at shows, you see them singing along. It's just like, it's one of the best feelings ever.
And is this from your album that you said you're working on?
Yeah.
When's that coming out?
Yes.
Do you know when it's coming?
Okay. I mean, we're talking September, October, November. I don't think we're quite landed on a date, but probably October, November, that record will come out. Yeah.
And you just announced, I don't know when it came out, I found out about it today, that you're going on the Franklin Graham tour.
Yeah. Well, Franklin Graham's been a good mate of ours. But actually back in the day, did many shows with his dad, Billy Graham, of course. But we're doing, I think, 8 dates with Franklin. Good dude. He's a super good dude, doing a lot of good around the world. And he's asked us to come out and do 8 dates with him. I'm not quite sure exactly what it's called, but that's coming up September, October, maybe. I think that's coming up. So that's going to be fun. Going to be some big crowds, so it'll be fun.
Okay, so I'm trying to wrap this up. I could talk to you all day, but I might ask you. This might be a hard question.
Yeah.
Things are getting better. Last year was hard, and there's still some uncertainty and some concern. People's finances have been decimated. I can tell you personally, last year, I don't know how many times I listened to We Believe, but it was a lot, because that's such an anthem when the world is scary. As a person of faith, what is your message to people who are just really struggling?
Oh man, I recognize that it has been really, really tough. I absolutely recognize it, and it's been real, but the best is yet to come. And what I mean by that is, I think the better days are ahead of us. And I've always kind of felt that. I've always been a kind of a person that I always believed that the best days were not behind us. You know what I mean? I've kind of got that kind of, that spirit about me. Oh, you always kind of have that. Yeah, it's the next record. It's the next tour. It's going to be better. This is the best record we've ever done. Best tour that we've ever done. And I really believe that. I think if you lose that, you must just quit, right? Just give up, because if you don't have that kind of spark, thinking this is the best record, this is the best song, this is the best tour, I think people sense that. When you get on the stage, if you're just going through the motions, people sense that. And I never want that to happen to me, but I never want it to happen to my band. So I really, truly believe that even though this was a super hard time on so many people, I think, but financially for a lot of people, absolutely. I think physically, I think psychologically, I don't think we know the true psychological weight of this thing that we're going to see. I think coming on down the years, I think it's had a real thing. We're not meant to be locked up in cages and not talk and be with people. I just don't think we're built that way. We're gregarious. We're meant to be in families. We're meant to be with people. And that was one of the toughest things for me, Michael in particular, because we're very outgoing, is we love people are oxygen. So I get on stage and that feels like where I'm meant to be. I'm meeting people. I love people. I love hugging and kissing and just all that stuff that an extroverts love. So we get energy from that. So when you're not allowed to do that anymore, we can't do that. It takes effect on you in a real weird way. But getting back to it now, the summer's really starting to ramp up a little bit here. The fall's looking not quite what it used to be, but 35 dates, I think, we have coming up in the fall. So we're starting to get back to that. There's something really to look forward to. And even the shows we played this summer, people are so appreciative, man. They're just there. They're all together, all in one place. And I think it's shown people how important it is to be with a group of people and the power that there is. There's an energy, right, that goes along when you're playing on stage, you're at a packed arena, and you're getting there's this symbiotic energy that happens. You're feeding them, hopefully they're feeding you. And I think people have really missed that. So I'm looking forward to a bunch more of that. And I think, we just played a show last weekend, actually Lifefest, Oshkosh, Wisconsin, which is the same people that are putting on the one down here in Nashville. We had 30,000 people there, and everyone was there just having an absolute blast. And it was so refreshing to see. So I can't wait for the future.
I can't wait either. I'll be at Lifefest too. I don't know if I'll be there the day, but we're going to be there. What's next for you? What do you want to do yet? Phil, end this with something that you want to do yet. Fill us in on what's next for you.
I don't think we're done yet. I don't feel that we're done. I just want to reach my full potential. I think anyone would say that. I don't think that we've reached that yet. We've had some great success, but I think the best record is still in us. And I think we're going to be used. I think at the end of the day, God will use who says, hey, pick me, At the end of the day, I'm available. I'll do it. I may not be the best player in the world. We may not be the best band in the world, but I tell you what, we're going to make ourselves available to whatever God has for us coming up the way, whatever that is. And I don't know what it is. I mean, I hope it's more playing music, because that's what we all love to do. And every one of us, I think this moment has really hit us hard. It's like, man, we love what we do. This is the best job in the world. And when we're getting back to do it again, you have a full appreciation. So yeah, I mean, if it means making more movies again, that'd be great. I love making movies. I'm not that great at it, but I really enjoy the process. And just whatever our full potential is coming down the road, I just want, at the end of the day, I just want the band to see its full potential, whatever that may look like.
I love it. Thanks for chatting. Good to see you. I don't know why I never got to do Christian artists before, but now we're in it, and I'm super excited. So
that's great. Well, I'm glad. We love our town, Nashville. I was so proud of Nashville on the 4th of July. They put on such a great fireworks show, and this town is booming. I actually live in Franklin, which is, Franklin's a little south. And I'm just so proud of the people. Just everyone. I mean, it's a great, great place to live. And Nashville's come a long way. If you've lived here for a little bit, you've seen Nashville come from this kind of big little town to it's really becoming into its own and growing and kind of maturing in that sense. I mean, downtown has just gone crazy, and a lot of different cultures and people from everywhere, which I love to see that. And of course, because you have all these different cultures and people, it's very cosmopolitan. You have great restaurants coming in. So, I mean, Nashville's got some killer restaurants now, which it kind of didn't have, 10, 15 years ago. But yes, the food's getting better. The downtown areas are being refurbed and are really prosperous, and it's a great town. I think it's just starting for Nashville. I really do. I think we're just getting going, and there again, I think the best is yet to come. I mean, I think we've created an environment, Nashville in general, of that people want to be here. It's a great place to live, very family orientated for the most part. You've got 3 interstates running through Nashville, you know what I mean? So you live in Nashville, you can kind of go north, south, east, west on an interstate and kind of be there within a few hours. And I just love it. I'm obviously originally from Australia, but I just really grown to love the people, really grown to love being a part of the industry here. I mean, I'm just so stoked to be a part of an industry that worships something other than itself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So wait, you said Nashville. Now you opened up this whole other can of worms. What's your favorite restaurant in Nashville? This is important. Or
Virago is probably one of my favorite. Whiskey Kitchen is another great one. But man, the list goes on. There's so many new restaurants I haven't even discovered yet, because every time I kind of open a magazine, there's a brand new restaurant downtown. But I love sushi. I love Indian food. I love every kind of Vietnamese food. I love Korean food. Thai. Oh my gosh, give me a good Thai dish, and I'm good to go, right? So, and I think that comes with traveling around the world too. You get to kind of sample the foods from all over the world. And Nashville's got it, man. I mean, Nashville has some really great international cuisine. So it's come a long way, and I'm just stoked to be part of it, you know?
Me too. Well, maybe
Yeah,
we'll
right?
go to a fun restaurant next time.
That'd be good. That'd be great. Well, if you are the same day, there the same day, come say hi
I
at
will.
Lifefest. Yeah, you
Thanks,
got it.
Duncan. Good to see you. Thank you so much.
Good to see you. You take it easy.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.